All right, today on One Punch Man News. Just kidding. This isn't a freaking news outlet. All right, so, what do you call it? Our good friend Ego has finally come out of the closet of being a leaker for One Punch Man World. I hope he doesn't get in trouble for this type of stuff because, like, the whole reason, I guess the reason why he never wanted to come out about it before was due to the fact that there might be some type of discrepancy with like maybe being in trouble over these types of leaks. But I guess it's like since it's like mostly happening through the outlets and sources that he gets, I guess he's not really afraid of that type of backlash since it's technically public information. It's just that he knows where to look over other people. Now, he has made a YouTube channel, so if you guys are interested in checking out the leaks that he does show off, as you can see, if he could just find some background music, that would be amazing. But he's pretty much talks about the leaks that we have talked about, and he is posting the leaks over here on his channel. I don't know what else he plans on doing with his channel and stuff like that. But I do know that he is just pretty much posting the leaks for his channel. And just if you guys are interested on seeing the leaks up close, then this is the way to do it. Now, the one thing I am going to do is judge the hell out of him for his tier list because this is probably the hottest piece of garbage I've seen in a minute. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Ego, man. He's a great dude, but I am not liking this tier list. This is my least favorite tier list out of like some that have made like SSR Genos the bottom tier character. No, I'm going to go ahead and go based off of what he thinks his tier list is so far. So, S, best character, could also be replaced by another character of the type of the team. I don't know what that means. If the case is there's more than one person at S tier, I don't know what he means by that. Now, a good character that will perform really good. That's just normal, average. Let's see. They will be less useful overall than S and A, but with higher investment, they can still perform. Now, I don't think that that's the best way to make a tier list. I don't think investments are the way to call it. And I made this very clear in the last tier list that I made when I was talking about the Reddit tier list. And that is, if we're going to talk about the characters on a tier list scale, we're going to talk about them on peak performance and judge them based off their peak performance because there are a lot of cases where these characters underperform due to the fact that some people just have shit builds. Now, and I'm judging the fuck out of you, by the way. Anybody who actually has like the worst build possible, or you don't even build anything, you just say the character's bad, like, come on, bro. Go memory farming, you weirdo. All right, let's see. PP PPP and Silverfang are tier for auto commissions. Are S tier for auto commissions. All right, so that's like a little what do you call it, a community note right there. So that is very very true. If you do not know, auto commissions are kind of ran by the main character of whatever auto commission you are running, and everyone else is just pretty much the support to that auto commission compared to the people that are playing defender class units. So if you guys are planning on doing auto, obviously Silverfang and Putty Putty Prisoner are just the best for that case. Now, if you like someone who cares, if you like someone who cares, you can still play him in most of the content. Yeah, I think he just means if you are biased, no one cares, which I totally agree. If you are biased about a very specific character, no one gives a shit. And that like literally makes sense for like a lot of characters and a lot of people, definitely, because a lot of people just talk out their ass even though they don't know what they're talking about half the time. And I totally agree with that. No one cares. This is a global tier list for both main and AI, but sometimes one character can outshine everyone else in one type of content. Now, I don't know what he means by global tier list when everyone gets the exact same version of the game. Nothing is different between all the different versions of the game whenever it comes down to character power and stuff like that. The only difference is translations. Now, let's just talk about the next one, which is one type. This is based on my own experience. You might not agree, and that's okay. Yeah, no, I totally agree. But since it's a tier list, I'm totally gonna tear into you, bro. I love you, Ego. You're a cool dude. I'm gonna link his channel down below. But Ego, this is the worst tier list I've ever seen. No, I'm just kidding. It's an okay tier list. I would say that a lot of it is kind of right, and especially since you did categorize it in different colors. I love how like you did do that. But let's go ahead and talk about it. Okay, So, first things first, morale tier list looks incredibly solid. I think that he fucking hit it nail on the like hammer on the nail with the morale. I think that this totally makes sense for like morale characters to be at this point. There's not really anything that really outshines each other, especially whenever it comes down to just characters' power overall, and just usefulness. I would love to see Stinger in S tier, but at the same time, I could defend every single decision he's made. So let me defend it. All right. With Sonic, he's just broken. He has iframes. He's the only character with iframes in the game. Amazing unit, hands down, incredible. SR Genos, probably one of the best damage dealers in the game. Most consistent, does not miss, and has some of the best damage in the game. SSR Saitama, just incredible unit, so fast, can literally travel across the map, does incredible damage, and is just one of the best impassioned build units in the game. We have A tier. Now Stinger. Stinger would totally be S tier, but will never be B tier. Now the reason I say that is due to the fact that Stinger is just one of those units that can do the most amount of damage out of most units in the game, especially as a breaker. The only downside with Stinger is the fact that he does not have hyper armor, which means hyper armor or super armor, which means if he gets hit, he'll normally just get knocked away, and his entire combo is shit after that. And we'll talk about that about another character, which we'll go into in a little bit. All right, freaking Putty Putty Prisoner. Obviously, he's just amazing. The only downside is I do think he is an S tier character, but that is entirely biased. I know that he can underperform under a lot of people in this game, and that is just the way it is. You know what I mean? Underperforming is just the way that Putty Putty Prisoner is. It's just he just doesn't hit peak perfection due to the fact that he is a counter build, and counter builds are only so good if you could counter. And if you miss counters, then you don't profit off of the most amount of damage. And that's kind of a downside with a lot of people not being able to use them as main, especially in multiplayer combat. Like, let's say you're not the main owner of the lobby, you would not be running Putty Putty Prisoner because at the same time, you would not be the freaking center of attention due to the fact that characters like Putty Putty Prisoner and Silverfang at the moment do not have a taunt. If they had a taunt, they would be freaking peak. Absolutely broken. Everyone would be using them, but they do not have a taunt. They don't have that type of gameplay in the game yet. Um, Moomin Rider has always just been a sore eye for everybody. When they lost the glitch ability where he was just able to like pump out infinite damage, everyone just kind of like just said, "All right, Moomin Rider, you're gone." He's an incredible character. I would say he's still a good main. It's just that he just really, really sucks in the category of just not being able to perform as well as everyone else here. All right, let's talk about the overpower tier list. All right, so we got obviously the top two in the game, which is a My Mask and Metal Knight, which is totally fine. But why the hell is Genos not up there? Genos is supposed to be up there. Genos is literally the best breaker in the game, hands down. Dude literally overperforms out of every other character in the game. There's a reason why we ranked him up so high because of the fact that he's just up there whenever it comes down to breakers, whenever it comes down to damage. You could build whatever kind of kit you want on this guy, and he will still overperform every other breaker and attacker, like most attackers in the game. Not all the attackers, obviously, he's not that good, but he's an amazing breaker, super necessary, and probably is the best breaker in the game, hands down. And he does not deserve to be an A tier. Spring Mustachio does deserve to be an A tier, but I have seen Spring Mustachios go crazy. But it's just the only downside is he requires to dodge, and if you are running like any type of like team where you are not like the center of attention, then half times like you're just not going to be able to perform. And on AI, he underperforms like a motherfucker. He does not hit shit in AI, and hence why it's like super hard to use him at all. But if you are a main character and you main Spring Mustachio, he can freaking shred. He's the absolutely king of shredding. He's better than like most breakers in this entire game due to the fact that he can never stop attacking. If he's the main character, obviously. We got Working Class Saitama and Snek. You are smoking gas if you do not believe that Snek is even A tier at all. Snek is A tier, hands down. Snek is amazing. I've used Snek throughout my entire playthrough, and he's be able to beat every single piece of content as a main and as a subclass hero. And he's the best out of that category. And he does not deserve this slander. Working Man Saitama, he's like the B class of this of overpowered. He just does damage. That's it. He just straight up raw does damage, hands down. Like really, really good defender. Don't get me wrong, but he's just so consistent on defending and attacking. But that's it. He doesn't overperform. He doesn't underperform. He's just incredibly standard. All right. So that's that. Let's talk about his technique. Atomic Samurai does not deserve S tier. I say this all the time. He does not deserve S tier. People could smoke as much reefer as they want in order to tell me that, at the end of the day, Atomic is supposed to be like freaking S tier. He's not. He has never been S tier. You want to know why he's not S tier? Because people who still play Atomic Samurai don't play Atomic Samurai all the time. Atomic Samurai mains will still put off Atomic Samurai to play other characters. Genos, SSR Genos mains will stick with Genos. Tatsumaki mains will stick with Tatsumaki. Sonic mains will stick with Sonic. But Atomic Samurai mains will get tired of Atomic Samurai because he underperforms in most categories of the game due to the fact that he needs to dodge, he needs to get hit. If he's not the main character, then he's just going to suffer and not be able to do as much damage as everyone else. Sonic does deserve to be there, though. Sonic is actually very solid. He has one of the highest damaging R skills in the game, and he's just very freaking good. Really freaking good. Um, Silverfang, why is Silverfang not A, bro? Come on, bro. Silverfang has a great damage build, don't get me wrong. It's just the only downside is to work off of deflections, people don't like the gimmick, and it's understandable. The gimmick is a little hard to pull off. Same thing with I would say like a character like Golden Ball. I wouldn't say Golden Ball's bad. He's actually very, very good. He performs very, very well. And if you actually get him to like, what do you call it? Potential 6, like we're talking about, like max potential characters, Golden Ball is a great damage unit. He's incredible. He does the job right. I would actually drop out of all characters here. I would actually drop Triple Staff Lily and Smile Man down to B. The only downside with these two characters is the fact that they require so much. What do you call it? So much skill, and it just sometimes they underperform due to the fact that like Smile Man's hyper armor is so good, but his damage output is lackluster. I've used him through like all types of gameplay and stuff like that. He can really tear people to shreds. He's an amazing. No, screw that. Scratch all that. Actually, I do believe Smile Man deserves to be there. Actually, yeah, screw that. Actually, I think everyone here actually deserves to be an A tier. I don't think anyone here underperforms. Now, I'm not saying character biased. I'm just saying due to the fact that I still use these characters, these A class heroes and this B class hero, and they still like perform just as well as if I was using like freaking my SSR Sonic or my SSR Genos. Like they just perform really well, and they have no real downsides to them because she has hyper armor. Her lack of survivability is what's the problem. But if you have someone who's like a good damage dealer while she's breaking, she could really be a really good breaker. And he's just a solid damage dealer with a really good healing kit. Um, the only downside with Smile Man is the fact that he doesn't have anything else to really show off. He just is a really good resolute build. Offhand unit. Yeah, I don't really see anybody else here being in B besides maybe Silverfang, but that's due to the fact that Silverfang just doesn't put out enough damage. And without having to like go into crushing water, like fist of flowing water, crushing rock, like he needs a better form, like a better form, because to do all that just for him to get uh his ultimate, which does lackluster damage at best and sometimes misses, that's the only downside with this character. Smile Man hits his R skill more than Silverfang hits his R skill, which is the problem. Golden Ball can't miss his R skill, and he is one of the best R skills in the game. All right, now let's talk about Assault. Now, Assault here is definitely probably the hardest one to gauge due to the fact that it has gotten the least amount of love so far. Due to the fact that you know, Assault just hasn't gotten any love yet. It got love at the start of the game. At the end of the game, it just hasn't gotten any love. But I hope it does this upcoming update. I hope it does get some love because I think Metal Bat might be the next Assault character. No lie, I would love for him to be Morale, but I think he's going to be Assault. Uh, but freaking, let's see the Assault tier list. The Assault tier list makes a lot of sense The only thing that doesn't make too much sense is Zombie Man being at A. He's a solid S tier unit. He does damage. The only downside is the fact that he's got a really good cheese build. That's what makes him an S tier unit. Survivability, he's super solid. His melee sucks balls. His melee is absolute ass. But besides that, like his actual like gun kit, if you perform it well and you get the right kit and you do the right types of damage, he could really overperform. And I would say the same thing about Iron. If you are an Iron main, you know what this dude is capable of. He is an S tier unit. He's the only S tier unit I would consider like an S tier unit, hands down. Iron has such a good freaking kit. He is hands down one of the best. He is the best SR unit in the game. And there's been no other SR unit to overperform Iron's feats. I've used him since day one. I've always used him. He has always gotten me through the thickest of content. He is that guy. He does so much fucking damage. He is so consistent. He's the best. All right. Freaking. Also, why is Lightning Max down there, man? Okay, I would actually switch Blizzard and Lightning Max. A lot of people are going to get mad about that because Blizzard has an amazing damage kit. The only downside is she's in that Stinger category of being able to do a lot of damage but with no hyper armor. And if she gets bitch slapped, she falls over and she like pretty much like loses all her entire combo. And unlike her, Stinger has a mode to fall back on that doesn't require a combo. She requires a combo in her mode as well, which also is just really annoying because she still can't overperform. She cannot perform the best. But Lightning Max actually gets hyper armor on his freaking R skill, which is super spammable and does a crap ton of damage. And is just ridiculous. It's like a way stronger version of Pity Pity Prisoner's freaking what do you call it? Angel Rush. And he could spam it way more. And then after that, he also gets a free dodges as he's freaking using his E skill. So that's really really nice. And it's E or Q, one of the two. But he's definitely A tier. I wouldn't say he's B tier at all. He performs very well. All right. Well, that's me tearing into his what do you call it? Ego and his brand new YouTube channel. Love you, man. Freaking I can't wait to see you succeed. I'm gonna keep watching your videos. I will not like your tier list. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'll go and like your tier list. I like you, man. I'll like your tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed Ego's tier list. I know he's been talking about it in the latest stuff, but freaking man, it's a rough tier list. All right, love you guys. Take it easy and peace out.